Okay, here's a little pre-work for you guys. February 6th, 2024. It's about 10 minutes to 8. So let's go through the S&P 500 here. Here's a monthly view on the chart. We've got a pretty bullish leg of the run here. You've got, here's October, here's November, December, and here's January. There's a little bit of indecisiveness in January. You can see compression in these candles moving up, getting awfully toppy, heading up towards this all-time high here. So let's go ahead and take a look at some levels that are relevant here for the near to mid future. All right, you've got a structure level right here, and that's really all I'm going to mark on this particular monthly chart. Let's drop down. You can see we've got a close through in January. We're right at the top of January's level, so bullish month in January. And we're deciding whether we're going to stay bullish here so far. In February, it's early, so this could very easily be a wick through. We've rejected 5,000 already once, so let's take a look. I'm going to mark that 5,000 psych level here real quick. And I'm going to mark that in a purple. Okay, so we've rejected 5,000 already. I'll true that up here in a minute. And then we're going to drop down to a weekly. Okay, what do we got on the weekly? Let's take a look. We've got a nice run up here on the weekly. We broke out of this range right here. We've got a couple of gaps here that need to be filled, and we'll just kind of mark those off on the weekly. So we'll go this one right here from the top of this breakout zone here to there. That has not been filled yet. Okay. This one down here has not been filled yet completely. It got filled a piece of it anyway. Okay, so we got two weekly gaps we're working to fill here yet to the downside. To the upside, we're going to have to run some fibs, but I'll do that on a daily to get some targets to the upside outside of the obvious 50-50 and 5100 psych levels. I'll drop in some more of these whole round numbers, 4,900. Again, I'll true these up as I drill in further. But this is a top-down multi-time frame analysis on the S&P 500 as of February 6th. 50-50. All right. So we'll keep that in there on the weekly. That's really about it. You could draw this little line here. It's not necessary because you could draw this breakout level right here where price broke out of into the upside, but it's not necessary. So on this candle, we've got an efficient market. You've got the top of this candle here matching with the bottom of this candle here. So we're very efficient here in terms of volume. So let's flip down to a daily chart and see what we see. Okay, so we've got some added information here. We have these same levels. You see how they just transpose right over. So I'm going to mark off starting from down here. I know this is a little bit far off, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it anyways. Probably not going to touch these levels for quite some time, but I think they're relevant in terms of context of the market, and I like to have as much context as possible. So then I'm going to go and load my daily, which I do in blue. All right, so here's a daily gap, and you can see a gap within a gap here. You got your weekly gap down here. You got your daily gap right here. The bottom or the top of this candle, the bottom of this candle, and then we have a buy side imbalance here. You can see this green candle. We've got a fast movement through this price level here on the buy side. Came back down, got filled to the tick. Right here, see that? To the tick, and then bounced, and then came back down to the tick to the top side of this daily zone here, and then launched from there. So that's why I like to mark this off, because I think it's a relevant price level. Okay, same thing here. We have another zone, a zone within a zone. This one's a daily zone. It's a little bit bigger than the weekly zone, which is a little bit odd, but it's okay. Mark it as well. And there you got it. Okay, so what else do we see? I see a big gap right in here that has not been, it's not that it's been filled or hasn't been touched or it's a one-sided affair. It's just there's no body of any candles in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly mark this one as well from here, which just shows that there's a little bit of indecision what we're going to do around this level right here. Okay, so I'm going to mark this one in blue as well. Okay. So now we got to do some Fibonacci extensions to the upside here. And I'll start from this swing low right here, there, and let's see what we got. 50, we've hit. 61, we've hit. 50, the 76. All right, so I'm going to add a couple of these in just for some longer term targets on the upside. I'm going to also mark in this psych level up here at 50.50. And then I'll go ahead and plug in a 25, we'll call it. And then we'll also plug in, actually I think that's going to do it. Oh, we'll plug in a 50.73 as well. So we've got some targets to the upside here as price either reclaims or takes this 5,000 level or rejects off of it again. We've at least got some targets to the upside. Okay, now we can get rid of this. All right, that does it for the macro view. So we are on the, so yesterday we had an inside day. We dipped into this zone a little bit, and now we're pre-market here, just fluttering inside the inside day yet. So we haven't yet figured out which way we want to go. Obviously, macro vision here is bullish because we are in a bullish leg. Not to say that we can't be setting up for a retrace. Oh, come on. So we're going to mark off prior day high. Prior day low. To illustrate that inside day, we are inside. Let's see, that would be Monday's kind of wild excursion of a day. I'm sorry, that would be Friday. Friday of last week. So here was yesterday's Monday, today's Tuesday, and we're inside the inside day yet, pre-market. We don't have any news, any real heavy news coming in today. Let's see, and I just like to look at the red hot news. I know that there's some bond auctions going on this week too, and I believe they're today. Around the 1 o'clock hour, so I'll notate that as we round the turn for the second half of the day. But this is your macro analysis, and there's some of your levels to key in on the day for at least a broad term. Take a look at these purple and these gold levels here on the broad. And so now let's go to a we'll go into a, you can see how they all transpose here. I'm going to get rid of a tool that I use on here because it just marks up a whole bunch of levels that I don't need at this particular moment. I'm going to get rid of my initial balance tool. Okay. And here we have our market profile here. You can see Fridays. Here was Friday's price action. You had this big dip and then a rip all the way up to fail just below 5,000. And then the Asian session yesterday dipped us back down. London session was flat. New York open, dipped and then ripped again. And we're just kind of chopping sideways here so far until we break out of this range here to one side or the other. We're either going to take out. So some levels to look at here. The value area of yesterday was right here. to here. So we'll mark that off, and we'll know that 49.74 and 3/4 and 49.57 and 3/4 are going to be some relevant levels as well today. So you look at some margins of potential trades, some breakout of this level here, 49.74 to 81. That's 7 S&P points as a nice trade target to that side. Break down from 49.57 3/4 to this daily level entrance, or this psych level of 49.50 would get you, what is that, 49.57, we'll call it 58. About 8 points of margin there to the downside there, and that's just for the initial targets. So there's some trades that can be developed out here. I'm going to go ahead and change this color over to white, just so I know what zone that is. And you can color code these whatever you like, but I like to do this color scheme. Okay. And then let's see, what other relevant levels do I have on here? So you got market low on Friday. You got this swing low. We'll notate that one. But we've already got that, so that's pretty far away at this point. If we bust through this zone, I'll know that this low is there. I can go ahead and place a level there. So 49.25. I'll make this one spring green. Okay. And what other levels do we have? I've got overnight low of yesterday. I've got value area. I've got some targets above and below. I've got, that also covers, yep, got that. Okay, 49.10. I do recall that being a very good structure level from a few days ago. And that's actually, it was like 49.09, but we'll use this value area here. And this untested POC right here at 48.90. Okay. And that should give us enough levels to work with to the downside here. You can see this volume node down here. It's going to offer a little bit of resistance. But if we bust through that, it gets pretty bleak to the downside here. We could move through this zone fairly quickly. As you see, there is just not much between here and here. A couple of levels that might stall out, a couple of untested levels here that might offer some resistance or reversals, but we'll assess that as we get to it. But that should do it for the that should do it for levels on today. Again, we're for directional bias. I'm flat until we bust, or I'm sideways biased until we break through this 49.81 or break below this 49.37, as we are coming off of an inside day. And so far, we've got this perfect D-shape profile coming off of this P-shaped profile, which really, if you break this down, was a D-shaped profile as well that bled down a little bit and then poked right back up on a V-shaped day yesterday. So we got a D-shape today. We'll be watching for value to break out to that upside or that downside with these levels first, 49.57 and 49.74 as our buy. So if we break out with any kind of volume-based momentum to the upside, it'll be bullish. Break down, bearish, obviously. Okay, that's it for today. Good luck. Happy trading.